See how nice this small 3-inch pad fits on this thin panel in the back of this SUV? It's really nice when you can be able to switch pads to match the size of the pad to the panel you're buffing. This is a really popular polisher. This is the Harbor Freight 6-inch DA polisher. But when you buy this brand new, it comes with this Herkin 6-inch backing plate. And that means you got to put on a pad that's large enough to fit the backing plate. This one here's a Buff and Shine. It's about a 7-inch diameter. And when you put that pad on, there's just really no way to buff thin panels without buffing on an edge or some trim or raised body line. So let me show you how to fix that problem. So what you want to do first is you need to go and order and get a variety of different backing plates. For example, here's a 3-inch backing plate. I've also got a 5-inch backing plate. And what this enables me to do is to use 3 different size pads when I'm buffing out a car. Here's a 6-inch, here's a 5-inch, here's a 3-inch. And then to make the swap, you're going to need to use the spindle wrench that comes with the tool when you buy it. Make sure you don't lose this because they're pretty small. I actually put some tape around mine to make it more visually noticeable in my drawer of tools over there. And then for this type of tool, they put a slot in the back of the housing here. So you need to bring this tool in here and actually attach it to the spindle. This is called a spindle wrench. And I just attach it to the spindle, and that allows me to take the backing plate off. So here's what I'm talking about. There's a slot right here, so you need to come in from the back of the tool, and sometime this counterweight will be in the way. So if you can't get the wrench in there, you need to take like a pencil with the eraser side and just kind of push this to the side. Then you can get the wrench in there and grab hold of that spindle, and then you can loosen the backing plate. Okay, so a couple real quick tips here. One is, all these backing plates have what's called a compression washer. And the compression washer is really important because what it does is it prevents metal to metal contact. So if you look at this backing plate, there's some rivets that attach to this metal piece right here that attaches to the actual backing plate. Then you got a 5/16 stud coming out of there. And you've got a counterweight in here. And if you put this together without the compression washer, what happens is these rivets, the heads of these rivets, they make contact with this spinning counterweight, and it does 3 things. 1, it makes a horrible noise. 2, it scars the counterweight and little metal pieces start flying out. And 3, it creates a lot of heat. That heat will actually transfer through the backing plate and into your pad, and it'll cause premature failure of the adhesive, the Velcro, and the foam. So do not lose the compression washer. And even though this one kind of came off kind of hard, a lot of times when you flip these things over, they'll just fall off onto the ground. And if you're not paying attention, you'll put this together and now you've got metal to metal contact. And by the way, most of these come with what's called a rubber nut. And so when you're transferring one backing plate off, say you want to go from a 6-inch to a 3-inch, then take the rubber nut off the 3-inch one, save these, don't throw them away, then put this on the one that you just removed, and that does 2 things. It protects the threads so they don't get damaged, but it also keeps the compression washer from falling off while you have this in storage somewhere. Okay, so that's kind of how the compression washer works, the rubber nut to keep you from losing your compression washer. Now let's go ahead and attach this nice little 3-inch, this is actually a Lake Country 3-inch backing plate. So to do this, we got to do the same kind of thing. We got to bring our spindle wrench in here, grab hold of the spindle, and then what I do is I put my thumb right there on the compression washer so it can't fall off when I flip this over. Then I'm just going to bring this down, get it started. I can see the compression washer is still there, and then I can go ahead and just spin this thing on. And when you put these on, you don't want to over tighten because that makes it really hard to get them off in the future, just till it's snug. That's good, and you are good to go. Now you can attach a 3-inch pad, and now you can come buff thin panels like right here or back here. And that prevents you from buffing on an edge, which is always a bad practice, or raised body line, or perhaps running into plastic, rubber, vinyl, or chrome trim as you're buffing. Anyway, this is a very versatile tool. It does come with a 6-inch backing plate from the factory, but you can easily find 5-inch and 3-inch backing plates online. Just make sure you don't use the spindle wrench. And another tip is always take a Sharpie marker, and look how I've marked this. I put a couple marks on here. And the reason you want to do that is because anytime you're using a free spinning random orbital polisher, I'll show you this, it's real easy for the pad to stall out. In fact, look, I can hold the pad while it's spinning. And what happens is when you're buffing, without those marks, all you're gonna see is a yellow blur. As soon as you put that mark on there, it makes it easy for your eyes to see and monitor pad rotation and pad oscillation. And then if you don't see it really rotating and oscillating, you can do a couple things. You can bring the speed up, you can change the way you're holding the pad, and sometimes it helps to switch to a dry pad. Hope those tips help you, and if you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're always pumping out new videos that help you to be successful in your garage.